All
All
right.
right.
No.
Boom. Speed.
All
That's what
right. So
people
good
say
morning.
in the
Happy
show
Saturday.
business. Speed. I
It,
don't know.
is that what they say?
It was like,
Well,
have you seen Heavyweights?
I have not.
Oh, what? What? You're a millennial. You should watch every millennial man should watch Heavyweights. That's an assignment for tonight for all of us.
I'm gonna
Heavyweights.
write that down. That's
Yeah,
gonna be the
and you'll like
celebration.
Ben Stiller, like that's all I actually know. His dad was in there. The guy from
Oh,
Grandma's
okay.
Boy, I think that was the first time he was ever in a movie. He was a cameraman that said it. Anyways, yeah, it's a good movie. It's about
Ben
fat
St
kids, and as a fat
Oh,
kid, like it spoke to me. It was my my anthem, movie anthem, I guess.
okay. I'm gonna have to check that out. I mean, are y'all watching Severance?
I actually saw an
Seen it.
episode last night, drunk.
Yeah.
So I did not understand what was going on. I just saw some girl
Yeah.
hang herself, and I'm like, this is not the
Spoiler
vibe for me
alert.
right now.
Spoiler alert. Yeah,
I was
I
like,
can't get into it, man. I love what it's about, but
yeah,
and the concepts it's trying to get into, I just can't get into it, man.
the
It's a little too slow
dystopian
for me.
office type thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Um, well, anyways, happy Saturday. Good morning. February 22nd. This is the OVP podcast where we all season have been developing C-Task, a personal project manager, and showing you all the behind the scenes along the way. Of course, I'm still Edmundo and we got Roger here. But today we're joined by two other fellow U of H alumni, MBA graduates as well. We got Julian and Tizak. Thanks for joining the program. They're representing, we're just going to say all of finance and all of education, higher education. so, so good morning, guys. Thanks for being here.
yeah. Thanks for being here.
Morning,
Don't
morning.
don't tear us up too much, but
No, lay into us. I want it
I'll
all.
yeah.
get into it.
I want it all.
But we along with you being like just honest brokers, I know you are going to give us some really good pointers on whether or not to proceed with this idea or not.
Yeah. We're
Yeah,
gonna
and I'm
play
taking
good cop,
notes.
bad cop.
Hold on, let me get my
Uh,
note taking gear. All right.
Should we introduce ourselves? My name is
yeah, go
Tisa.
ahead.
I am a UH alum. Studied there for my bachelor's in business administration with a major in marketing and a minor in management, and then also continued on to my MBA, where I focused on had a focus in management and completed certificates in there as well. Um, my day job, I'm an academic advisor, and by night, I'm also a Sure senior consultant as well. So it's a little bit about myself. Julian, if you want to introduce.
Yeah, absolutely. Morning, everybody. My name is Julian. I'm also a UH alum, did my undergrad in finance there, as well as my MBA, kind of primarily in finance. Throughout my career, I've ping-ponged around various finance roles in financial planning and analysis, consulting, M&A, due diligence, kind of a whole slew of financial related roles. And I'm about to transition into a new one, an FP&A role. So excited to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for being here, guys. We appreciate it.
And Julian's always on the payroll, but he's kind of shown me the value of being kind of a hired gun and moving around to, develop skills and kind of grow your own skill set.
Always be growing.
So and Tizak has shown me the ups and downs of owning an aquarium.
It's on the up right now. I've got some corals coming in and I'm excited. So
Nice, nice.
Awesome. Okay, guys. So yeah, we're gonna go straight into the pitch. The point of the pitch is we're gonna kind of show you an idea we've been working on, trying to develop, and then at the end, you let us know if this is a viable idea, something that you would like to see more of, or if you think we should, take this out back and shoot it, get it over with.
Yeah. And also along the way, definitely feel free to stop us and to like,
Yeah.
feedback as you see fit. I'm taking notes and I think, this is just going to help us sharpen our, presentation, communication skills, for the next iterations of things as well. So any feedback is definitely appreciated. Thanks guys again for being here.
Yeah, we've
Absolutely.
seen these pitches. We've seen these pitches go both ways, where we do the entire pitch, questions at the end, and we've seen the pitch where 5 seconds in the introduction. All right, hold on. What's the budget looking like? Like people cutting it. So we're ready for whichever one.
And we're pretty scrappy around here, so we don't have the paid version of anything. So this is all, if it cuts us off, if we can't get through the whole episode, I think we have like a
It is
30
what it is.
timer. It'll give us a
Yeah.
10-minute countdown, right? So, well, don't worry about time, but it might cut us
This
off, and that's
it's
just
not
part
like
of the course.
sports.
Yeah.
It's not like sports where the 2 minute warning could go like for 15 minutes. Like the 2 minutes is 2 minutes.
there you go.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for being here. All right, so C task. Uh-oh, can't go back. I can only go forward already. Let me go back here. Here you go. Can y'all see that?
Yep.
All right. So C-Task is a personal project manager. Here we go. So the problem we're addressing is just kind of the weekend warriors where you have a lot of personal projects, whether it's, planning a trip, building a fence, fixing the car. We decided to focus on the DIY home projects demographic because there's a lot of more younger homeowners who may, have grown up on Reddit, YouTube, different website resources, and they're kind of conquering and going, you know what, like maybe I don't need to pay a pro to do this. Maybe it's something I can do on my own time. And we're trying to help those people who had those items on their to-do list get over the hump with by leveraging AI and community templates.
Yeah, yeah. And so kind of like looking at kind of like our first slide, where did we go from where did the time go? Again, this was kind of like, oh yeah, oh sorry, you could do slideshow, or do you want to just do
Go for it.
all right, perfect. So, I think one of the things that we thought about when we were kind of thinking of this idea was, problems that we're having in our lives, right? I think that's kind of like the genesis of what like the idea came from is like, and this was just us talking, after dinner one day, like I said, but basically looking at like, oh yeah, I have all these like tasks that started and never finish, or, I get dissuaded from being a homeowner, or even a renter, there's things that we want to do around the house, whether it's, cutting your grass or painting some shelves or fixing some plumbing, right? Things that you kind of start but never finish. And then we kind of looked into it a little bit more. So that was kind of like the genesis idea. But then when we looked down to a little bit more, like the total addressable market was like when we looked at the top-down approach, was kind of there, right? So we pulled a couple of numbers. The first one is 145 million homeowners. That's just from Justicia, right? So that's just like a one of the stats we found. But another interesting one was like, we're not alone. 75% of households in America, and this is looking top down domestically specifically, have started not necessarily finished, but at least started a DIY project, right? And when you look across like Home Depot and the Lowe's, like those numbers generally stay kind of the same, right? So it's kind of interesting to see there. So when you kind of look from a top-down domestic approach, that's 109 million households that have started a DIY project, not necessarily to finish it. So I think that's where CTAS can come in to really kind of blend the world between, your project management software that you use at work, but also kind of for the home, right? So that was kind of the genesis of that.
So our product, C-Task, like we said, it's going to use AI. You go ahead and you say, "Hey, I want to work on repair my fence." When you put that prompt in, it'll give you all the steps in the template for how to get it done. But it's also going to combine your calendar app to be able to give you nudges throughout the way. So you're going to give the program a deadline. I want to fix my fence by the end of the month. And so it'll divide that monthly goal as a project manager, a real project manager would, into milestones and then say, okay, well, by week one, you need to already have your materials or you need to order them so that they're there by, the halfway point so that you can actually start the install. It'll send you training videos so you can kind of get up to speed on what the process actually looks like. And as we grow the community, um, members will be able to upvote, downvote different templates, has like their main recipe. Like, no, I use this one and I got the fence done quicker with this template. Um, so we're combining the templates, the community, the nudges, and then we also kind of spoke about having a function where it's kind of like an off ramp. You're in over your head, you don't know how to clear a septic tank. There's a buy now option where maybe you tag in a professional and it'll give you access to either local contractors or through strategic partnerships, someone from TaskRabbit, or maybe you just need certain materials. There'll be links through an affiliate program with Home Depot is who we're trying to target, and then you can get materials that way delivered to the house, or just conveniently ordered for you through AI so that you can pick it up on the way home and have your materials.
Yeah, and when we're looking at kind of like the C-Task offers, specifically like the templates, nudges, buy now options, we could think of this as like a crawl, walk, run approach to like, developing these kind of like, I guess, additional offers or, platform, deliverables, right? So we're definitely starting at the template stage just because, that's kind of like lower hanging fruit going on. Like once we kind of get that nudges and then kind of like at the run phase, we're looking at kind of buy now options where we can kind of partner with TaskRabbit, Home Depot, Lowe's, kind of like the big players in the game to kind of help our users from that perspective for sure. But
Yeah, we spoke about season 20 down the line. You can have celebrity templates, you can have different people like, oh yeah, like I don't know, whoever your favorite celebrity is, you can have
Snoop
them
Dogg.
having pitched you. Yeah, you can have Snoop Dogg's way of how to roll a blunt, like you can have his step-by-step process. Okay, here's just some AI generated templates for what it could look like.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we've we tried to do as well is like using AI not just for the building of the platform. I think, one thing that we did was built a prototype of what we can use or what the feeling of the app is. So it's not just using AI specifically to build the app or, on the front end for the users. We're also using AI, which we've already done to actually build the app itself, more like an MVP that people can use, but also using AI within the company to help us, have a marketing specialist and an accounting specialist, right? So I think we're trying to really figure out how to incorporate AI not just on the customer facing side of it, right, in the app, but also building the app, building the company as well. But a little bit about like meet the team. I'll start. My name is Roger Cruz. I work at a company called ClassPass. I work on their B2B marketing team. I'm also adjunct professor of marketing at University of St. Thomas. So a lot of fun with that. So really for me, I really enjoy different aspects of building companies, but from different perspectives of being really scrappy. That's what I teach in my class. And one thing that I do at work is, figure out how to do things with the with the smallest set of resources you can, right? Like cash is king, but not a lot of companies have it, especially to start. So I think the perspectives that we're building from for us is like how can we do more with less, right? And definitely utilizing AI, but thinking about, how we can just kind of like stretch a dollar, right, into like $1.50, So
Yeah, and I'm currently in operations for Walmart in the logistics part of it, and that's all about efficiency, productivity, and my personal just passion is productivity, trying to get the most out of every day I can, and sticking to deadlines and sticking. If I say I'm going to do something, trying to stick and get it done. Um, and so that's where kind of the integration of like not just your to-do list, but then the nudges you're going to get from C-Task to keep you honest, to keep you accountable throughout the way kind of came about. So as far as our go-to-market strategy, we have two legs to this. We have the business to business and the business to customer. For business to customer, like Roger mentioned, we're going for homeowners in the DIY space, people who believe or who think they can get something done, who want to get something done, or just have the curiosity of like, oh, how do you replace a doorknob? Because if I can learn how to fix that doorknob myself, I can save on a lifetime of having to pay other people to fix that doorknob for me. And then of course, with every little home project you do, speaking from experience, every little home project you do gives you a little confidence. Like, hey, maybe I can do this other thing. Maybe I can change the exhaust vent on the stove. You just start scaling a little bit, and all of a sudden, you're a little mini contractor for the house, and you're saving yourself so much cash. Whether it's done 100% correctly, that's another thing, but that's something you learn through experience. So that's our B2C. Um, the target demographic, 25 to 45-year-olds, homeowners, kind of within our age range, who are curious people who know how to look stuff up, computer literate, and who are able to, execute on these things. And then we have our business to business leg of the business, where we are going to, we have this customer base. They're proactive, they're active, they're getting projects done, but they're going to need resources. We're partnering with different companies that make sense, like TaskRabbit, Home Depot, Lowe's, to be able to offer a quicker access to the materials or resources or services they need. So we are in the pre-prototype phase, 0 users, but we're targeting, Home Depot for supplies, TaskRabbit for services.
yeah, and looking at some of our competition, kind of on the right, and what you'll kind of notice on the right is like this is a lot of project management software that's really not built for consumers for like your DIY project uses, right? Like these are all very much like most of these will probably look very familiar for people that use project management softwares at work. We use Asana, ClickUp, Zoho, things like Airtable especially, but these are really built for like the perspective of like working for an organization or company. There's really not something or there's a gap in the market where this kind of a project management software and accountability software meets your home life, right? So there's really nothing there. But even looking on the left-hand side, like some of like the main competition, like Google, Reddit, YouTube professionals, what we see is that like these are competitors, but they're also going to end up being partners because in the app itself, it's going to actually connect you to the Google article that, is the highest ranked community note, right? Reddit, the highest kind of like liked, topic for what you're looking for. Same for YouTube and professionals, right? So even though a lot of these are competitors on the left-hand side, they're actually going to be like competitors, but also in the app to help our users kind of figure that out. So it's really going to kind of blend both worlds from that perspective for sure.
Yeah, all of our competition are tools that you can use to get closer to finishing a project, but they're all kind of lacking the nudges and the AI kind of integration, the thing to keep you on to hold you accountable and keep and hold your hand throughout the process. It's kind of like, all right, here's the resources, here's the information, and then it's up to you to kind of program it, to set the alarms yourself, to set but with our app, you just set the deadline and then everything else is flushed in there for you. As far as projections, we're looking at a 3 year runway here, and our goal is just very aggressive upfront. Get as much funding as possible to be able to get 50,000 users because with those initial 50,000 users, we'll be able to then have real conversations with those Home Depot, Lowe's, TaskRabbit type of companies where they see the incentive to partnering with us so where they can sell their materials or their goods through our app and also, be partners too, which will create more traction. Um,
Yeah, coming
so
coming from the
but
freemium model perspective, we know that our kind of benefit to the Home Depots and Lowe's is going to be their user base, right? Because that's what they want to get. They want to see how many users you're bringing in to kind of view their kind of atmosphere or their ecosystem, right? So we know that we're going to have to kind of burn some cash up front to grow that user base to the point where a Lowe's or a Home Depot can say, "Oh wow, like we really need to partner with this team because they're bringing in more people, right?" So we know that there's going to be we know that the majority up front are going to be freemium users, but at the same time, we do want to kind of also have our premium subscription service. So, I think that there's things that we can do like nurturing programs, upsell, cross sell along the life cycle of the users. And part of that's going to be providing a lot more value than maybe we're getting from users. So, DIY, blog posts or events, virtual or online, right? So we're definitely going to have like an ecosystem in there where we're going to try to one, increase our freemium users, year over year, but two, start slowly monetizing them where it makes sense. But really the goal is to show Home Depot, Lowe's, TaskRabbit that, this is a user base that's big and growing. And I think we can definitely get there in a scrappy way that makes a lot of sense for us from a customer acquisition perspective, but also a lifetime value perspective from what we're going to get from the customers over a longer life cycle for them.
And we feel like our users, because they're getting the nudges, because they're being, held accountable or they're being reminded throughout the process, that their actions are going to translate to dollars for our partners because they're the ones that are going to get to that step where they need that brick mason to come in. They're the people that are going to get to that step where they need to go ahead and order the wood because they've already done all the other research. So, we're setting up a strong pipeline of like hot leads for them. So our initial sources and use of funds will be 500,000 to create this app and fine tune it. And we put a lot of money into that bucket because we want to make sure that, with every user, we're implementing the feedback to fine tune the app and make sure we're not having bugs because we don't want to have too many bugs too early in it. And these people who we're saying are highly motivated, productive people are kind of like, well, that doesn't work. Let me move on to the next thing because they're going to be pretty proactive people by nature. And so we don't want to give them any speed bumps. So we're going to try to be in real time, update our app consistently. And then as far as marketing, we figured we would target with our ads places where proactive, active people, productive people go. Like if you're looking to make a fence, you're gonna go on YouTube to like find that DIY video of how to do a fence. That's when our ad comes up. Oh, hey, you know, have you heard about CTAS? It's a personal project manager for stuff like building a fence. And then it kind of shows them like, oh, cool, like you're not in this alone. you'll have our AI kind of pushing you, filling the gaps of knowledge, but then also pushing you as far as like, hey, you said you want to get this done by the 12th. So the latest you can order the materials is the 7th. If not, you're going to be behind, your goal. But then also has our marketing guru, Roger had a good point of also being the thought leaders in the space as well and having a website and a blog where we can post kind of success stories and have all the behind the scenes that go into it so we can create a stronger community.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like the goal of the marketing perspective is definitely building a strong community where and I think we're gonna have to take an iterative approach to that in terms of like, we're not gonna be able to run ads right away. Ads are expensive. We don't know, on the back end what that's gonna convert to from like a LTV or like ROI perspective, but we definitely can build a lot of own media like with a great website, with blog content that speaks to the verticals that we're going after, but also kind of a flywheel approach to it to bring people always back, right? So, signing up people, to our newsletter, right? To our email subscription, right? And then that being a thing that keeps users engaged specific to the vertical they came in. Like if someone came in for, sink repair, right? Sending them content, daily or weekly to get them back in and keep them going on their in their like homeowner life cycle, right? So definitely going to use a iterative or scrappy approach to it, build up, the own media, and then layer on the paid media on the backside of it. So we know we're getting the most out of like our ad spend dollars in the back end. But to Ed's point, really trying to be where they are. So using that time to learn, ask questions, right? Like in this process, we're going to be asking the customers always like, hey, where are you getting your, news or content or XYZ from? And then really trying to be where they are to get them to really target them a little bit better.
Yeah, and so with us targeting just home improvement projects right now, it's one of those things where okay, you came to us because you wanted to fix, the vent over the stove, but maybe through our one-to-one contact point of the newsletter, we can be like, hey, these are the top 5 projects that are being worked on right now. You look at it and like, oh yeah, you know what? I forgot. Like I've been meaning to paint that part of the trim around the house, and so all of a sudden they have a link there. You can just add it to your projects. All of a sudden, bam, just put a deadline in, and it'll show you how to get it done within the next 3 days.
Yeah. And I
So
think a really powerful thing about that is kind of like having the stored value as homeowners, you have a lot of pride and ownership of like your domain, right? So really kind of utilizing that kind of like game development approach to marketing where each piece of stored value, so each piece of trim that you paint or faucet that you fix kind of like increases that stored value that you have for your ownership in your house a little by little. So really like walking them through that life cycle up and away and to keep them kind of engaged with us. So I think there's a lot of fun things that we can do with that. Oh, I
yep.
just got the running out of time.
We have 10 minutes. All right, let me run through this. Exit strategy, we have 2 options. We can either build to sell it or build it to grow. It just depends whether we want to be in the picture or not down the road. Um, so we've both kind of kicked both ideas around. Well, I think we'll have both options available to us. And all right, questions, you guys.
All right, so I've got some notes here. I'll try to get through them quickly because I know we're running out of time. Um, but so one of the first things that, as far as the layout or presentation, all that was at the beginning, I was kind of asking myself, all right, what is this? What is this project or product or service or anything like that? So I would say maybe try to move that up a little bit in the line, and that can kind of help with the flow. Um, what I was curious about is, looking at the journey as far as, how you guys envision this, the customer's experience or the user's experience, and, maybe showing an example of, all right, this is a fence project. This is how, kind of do an iteration of maybe a quick project that can be done just to kind
Mhm.
of visualize and help, show the value of what you're trying to offer.
Mhm.
Um, and I guess one of my first real questions is, how are you gonna, and what is the role of AI? Like, how is that going to kind of play into this?
Yeah, I can start that, and you can maybe fill in Ed where I kind of missed. But we kind of see it as using AI in 3 different ways. On the front end for the consumer is, like using AI on the front end to kind of not only, well, so I'll start from the back, and not only build the company ourselves, right? So using AI to help us build our financial statements, help us build our go-to-marketing plan, our SEO, SEM plan roadmaps, right? Like having that be a companion to build our company on the back end. So that's one. The middle version of that also is using AI to help build our products. And I think that you raised a good point about like the journey and showing that because we actually do have like MVP of types where we basically used app called Replit where it's basically you type in just like any of the AI agent, hey, give me a website or app that does X, Y, or Z, right, to build that out. So we actually have like a working version of the app, right, that people can use and get in, but maybe showing that also in there would be helpful. So, using AI to build a company as, a companion, like a CMO or CFO, but also using AI to build the product itself, right? So we can use it that way, but also like on the customer facing side, using AI to predict the things that they're going to need to go with the product for them, right? Like, oh, people also these are the steps basically that someone will take to build their fence, right? They're, X, Y, and Z. We're not actually building that ourselves. We're using AI to put those pieces or tasks together for them for the project that they specifically said that they were going to do. Ed, did I miss anything or?
No, you got it right. The main piece for AI in terms of the customer facing part is, hey, how do I, fix the dishwasher? And it's gonna give the AI is gonna generate that template of
Mhm.
these are the steps to fix the dishwasher. And then you fine tune it from there. And then of course the community will then upvote, downvote certain templates that are already existing, and you'll see, oh, look, 500,000 people already use this one to fix their dishwasher. Let me try that one first. Maybe there's comments under it saying, "Oh yeah, hey, this is a great template." It's kind of like recipes
Yeah.
where,
And
where
what I
but
wonder is like, is there enough, I guess, steps in there that are kind of universal across? Because I'm definitely not a handyman myself, but and maybe this is kind of showing an going running through an example or a journey it might show is these building a fence, unclogging a sink or something like that. These are the steps that are the major steps, and maybe those are universal. But my question is there enough kind of standardized steps across different tasks to kind of make it like a universal template? And so I'd want to know, how, or like maybe a list of tasks, you want to research to kind of see what tasks might be kind of s- start with and stuff.
that's good feedback.
Yeah, I
And I
love it.
think initially when we start, it'll be one to one. There won't be a community, a giant community saying, "Oh, this is the best, template." It'll be one to one, but then over time, certain templates will get those upvotes and be like, "Oh yeah, that one worked for me," and that'll kind of standardize what it is. But like you said, there's a lot of different shades based on manufacturer, based on size, based on style, all these things. So it'll probably be just a one to one template ratio for a little bit until enough people go, okay, well this one works 90% of the time on any manufacturer, on any size dishwasher.
All right, and last question, since I'd give Julian some time. What exactly was the pricing model? Is it going to be kind of freemium, subscription, a one-time use? What is that strategy there?
You want to take that, Ed, or
No,
I
go
see
for it.
it. I see it as a tiered subscription service, like definitely freemium to start to get users in. But with a monthly subscription for those premium features. So I think we were pricing out different models of that, but definitely a freemium feature with tiered services as people upgrade and find value, right, in the product and upgrade themselves.
Yeah, another revenue source will be, the ad space we're allowing to any potential, vendors that want to hop on the app as well.
That's a good call out though. Like we can break down the revenue generation. Because even like and I think that's kind of like in this vein we're trying to figure out like we don't want to just pull revenue from one place, right? So whether it's ads or tiered services or freemium models, but also using our email base in itself, like using Beehive and things like that, where we can email people like quality content, but also be able to monetize that email list as well. So just trying to find as much revenue as we can wherever we can without being too pushy, but still trying to provide more value than we get, right?
Yeah,
Julian,
yeah.
questions, feedback?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So first off, great job, guys. I think obviously this is more than just an idea. Y'all have clearly thought about this a lot and fleshed this out. So I'd say at the start, like, good job. I think y'all have really thought this through. Definitely do have some questions, some feedback. I know we only have a couple minutes here, though. I don't know if y'all are still have some time if we
But
want to maybe send out a new link and we can jump on
Yeah, for
another
sure.
call because it might be more than 2 minutes.
What we like here is to get cut off by the timestamp. So yeah, we can definitely jump. I can after this, I can send a quick like Google hang or something real quick because I don't think
why
we.
don't you
Got it,
why
got
don't you
it.
rapid
Okay.
fire the questions and then we'll get to as many as we can.
Okay, so
What
on
do
the
you think?
AI, I know y'all talk a lot about it, but never really talk about what the underlying like infrastructure, like what's the underlying AI that you guys are going to be using? Because I
Mm,
don't think that was really addressed or really touched on much.
yep.
It kind of just felt more that like buzzwordy, like, hey, we'll use AI for this, we'll use
Sure.
AI for that, but not really talking too much about what the AI is. Um, and then my other concern is also in like ensuring the accuracy, right? Like having the AI build out the templates and stuff, I think is a good starting point. But unless you have like a SME, some kind of subject matter expert on your team to really say, is this accurate? Is this not? I could see issues in terms of the content generation at the start, right? Like I understand the upvote, downvote system, like the
Hmm.
community will kind of say, hey, this works or hey, this doesn't.
Yep.
But until you reach like some kind of critical mass or exit velocity on the consumers, like you're not going to have enough people at the start to be able to say, and who are doing that many things, right? You might have one person who's building a
Mhm.
fence, you might have one person who's on a dishwasher. So until you reach, 50, 100,000 users or whatever, you're not really going to have that kind of content moderation to be able to say, okay, this one works or this one doesn't.
Yep.
So that's just one concern there. Um, in terms of pricing models, yeah, I would absolutely love to understand like understanding there might be different tiered subscriptions and services, but understand is it $5 a month? Is it $10 a month? What does it look like from the user standpoint? Um,
Yep.
and definitely have some other questions around the projections and the models there. We can maybe flesh that out on a separate call. On the sources and uses slide, I saw a lot of uses, but I didn't see any sources. Like I saw the 500K for app development, the 500K for marketing, but I didn't see any of the sources of funds. Are you going to go to investors? Are you going to pull cash from
Mm,
your own state? Like I saw the uses, but not the sources there.
yep.
Um,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, I'm just kind of scattered thoughts right now.
No, it seems good. No,
No, that's good. These are
these
all
are
good,
all amazing.
all
Yeah.
good blind spots.
No, yeah,
And if
for
I
sure.
could add to that too, a breakdown of the 500,000 for each one. Because I
Yeah.
mean,
Yep,
if you're going to an investor, you just ask them 500 for marketing, 500 for app development. They're gonna want to
right,
know a breakdown. All right, what
absolutely.
people you're hiring and kind of this
Yep.
and that.
Nope. That's a great call out. So I guess one question
Well,
for y'all. Are y'all in or y'all in?
yeah, what do y'all think?
So your options are in or really in.
I'm in. I would need some more financials, but